I'm not the other side.
The new one, because I want your coordinates, so I can use it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Because you choose a nasty broom. Just leave that for yeah.
Okay, love bugs. So
It's quiet today.
it is quiet today.
We
were just
Yeah.
really loud.
We were just very loud.
Yeah, it started over there with Miss Littman.
She is a loud one.
And then I couldn't
That
resist
Rita.
telling my story. Oh, and story, you know. Whatever. This. That's a long story.
It's a long
shit
story.
happened story.
Literally.
And when I say literally,
I mean, literally. Okay, so any requests for practice today? Any body parts, any poses you guys want? I need some inspiration. I have like a little bit of some thoughts about what I want to do today, but I've been trying to like take us up a little bit, a little more, and then more,
Up a notch.
what's the word I want to use? Like not so much a gentler practice, but more an intermediate to vigorous, somewhere in that sweet spot between the two. Any body parts, poses you guys want?
I like twists. I like when you do
Yeah.
them like this
I
too.
like the twist.
You little
like-
twist?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's twist it.
Let's twist it. Let's twist and shout. Okay,
I always like to work on the inner thigh, just like.
excellent. Yeah, okay.
Lower back.
All right. Low back
But I
too.
don't care.
How did you
Whatever
feel
you
after
want.
that back practice we did that day? Remember?
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, good. Okay. All right. I'll put together a little something with that. Next week I will remind you guys about signups, and I'll send you that link again. Did you see the moon this morning? She was so pretty. It like stopped my breath on the way in. It was so
Yeah.
gorgeous, wasn't it?
Mhm.
Oh, I love it.
When I walked out the door this morning, I was like, ooh.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, nature. It's so good for us. Nature. The title of my little talk, and I'm not going to talk for long, but the title of my little talk for today is self-care shouldn't be a thing. And I'll explain what I mean by that, like, because really yoga is self-care at its best. And that's something that I've said before and believe in. But if you really think about it, shouldn't we always be caring for ourselves? Why do we have to like learn how to take care of ourselves and practice taking care of ourselves? Like we should just be doing it. And it reminded me, and when I was thinking about that, it reminded me of this story I've heard about the Dalai Lama. He was here in the United States and he was giving some sort of talk, and there was a question and answer portion after his talk. And I've been blessed with being able to attend one of the Dalai Lama's talks. When I lived in Buffalo, he was at University of Buffalo, and I was able to go and to listen to him speak. And it was so amazing, you guys. I will never, ever forget it. And like, I don't know, you know how there's some people who bring just like an energy and a presence just by being there, you know, being in the room. Like when he entered that room, and there's thousands of people in that room, like, I don't know, maybe it was just a little bit of, you know, my imagination, but like there was a shift. You could like literally, you could feel it. You could feel when he arrived in the room and the energy that he brought with him. And it was just such a great experience for me. And I had heard, this wasn't at the talk I attended, but I've heard this story that he was giving a talk and there was a question and answer portion at the end. And somebody had asked him a question about, you know, rejection of the, like self-hatred. Like, how do you deal with that? How do you deal with what's the most skillful way? And what is your perspective on that? And the Dalai Lama was like, excuse me? Like, and his translator came over and they're talking, and like 20 minutes, the translator was trying to explain to him what this guy was meaning by talking about self-hate. He's like, you can't hate yourself. Like, that's not even like, like to the Dalai Lama, that concept was so out there that he couldn't even meet him at the question. So I don't know, that just, brings me to reflect on the idea of sometimes, you know, we advertise this practice as a way to, you know, be involved in self-care, but everything we do should be self-care, you know? And our self-care shouldn't just be on this mat. It shouldn't just be, you know, our few minutes of shavasana at the end. That self-care should be the way that we're living our lives as a whole. So I don't know. I just wanted to plant that seed for you guys today to maybe reflect on that a little bit, that if we don't, maybe we can compartmentalize it a little bit less. Like, I'm glad you're here at yoga. Like I've said before, you know, kind of to be a yoga teacher and a meditation teacher is to be in like the pain and misery business. You know, a lot of people come to yoga because their back hurts and they're sad and they're having a hard time, and business is booming, you know, like, it really is. But at the end of the day, like our whole life should be about, you know, nurturing ourselves and not having it just be this thing that we do at a certain time. So I don't know, just kind of planning that for you. And I have a friend who I talk to once in a while, and every time we talk to each other, we made this little pact that we were going to tell each other, like, hey, what are you doing to take care of yourself lately? And it makes you aware of that. So if I know I'm talking to her, I'm like, oh, I better get on it. I better have something to say to her. So it makes us accountable to each other. So maybe you can do that with a friend, or even just checking in with yourself from time to time. Like, I'll plant that seed for you as we get into practice a little bit more. So I don't know, that's what's popping around in my head today. I want to just thank you guys always for being here, for letting me be your teacher. I love you so much, and I appreciate being able to share the practice with you. So let's have a good one. Let's start on our backs. So as you come onto your back
I knew you were
body,
gonna say that.
you did.
I was ahead of you.
You must have read my mind. And as you're ready, take out that long, yummy stretch from fingers to toes. Make a little noise, make a yawn, wiggle fingers, wiggle toes, whatever you need to do to bring yourself. Did you go to close the door? Thank you, love. And once that long, yummy stretch has been stretched out, go ahead, either place feet on the floor, or leave the legs straight, up to you guys. If you haven't already, allow your eyes to close. And just arrange your body in a way that feels good for you right now. Beginning with a little scan of the physical body, just kind of noticing how you're arranged. You know, if your knees are bent, if your feet are on the floor, your legs are straight, just kind of as though you're viewing yourself from the outside. And now go a little more subtle, a little more into the body. Look for places in your body that maybe have been a little troublesome for you. Maybe you're holding tension somewhere. Maybe your back has been acting up, or that sore shoulder has been talking to you. Just listen. And let's not miss out on the opportunity to check in with where we feel great. Maybe that injury isn't there anymore. Maybe you slept really great last night. Maybe those digestive issues have sorted themselves out, since that's been a theme in our practice today. Okay, so checking in, we don't want to miss the opportunity to shine some light on the good stuff, right? And then as you're ready, just gently shift your focus into your breath, you guys. And I feel it and hear it happen. At the mention of our breath, sometimes it becomes deeper. So that's great. No problem there. But really let all the arrows of your attention point at your breath. And just work a little bit more deliberately with moving the belly out as you inhale and letting the belly sink into the spine as you exhale. Keeping going with that gentle rhythm of the breath. Can you lengthen your exhales a little more? Can you extend the space between the inhales and the exhales a little more? Can you smooth out the transition from the inhale to the exhale? Just softening and bridging that gap between the two. Now letting go of all conscious control of the breath, let the breath go ahead and breathe you. As you come home to that quiet space, one thing that I really love that we did in our practice on Tuesday, I was thinking about it after, is that point that we kept coming back to between the eyebrows, that being a little touchstone in our practice on Tuesday, that place where we can return together, where there's no thinking, no doing, no planning, no reminiscing, no ruminating, no worrying. It's just an open field available always for you. So again, we're not compartmentalizing our yoga. Our yoga is everything all the time, whether we're on this mat or not. And you can always come back to this place between the eyebrows, this place of perfect peace, of perfect stillness, and a stilling of the churning of the mind. And you can do that. You have the power, you have the ability to do this at any time. So reassuring yourself of this ability to always come home. And in that way, we're always taking care of ourselves. Let's sing a song of Om together. Let's exhale all the breath out. Big spacious inhale when you're ready. Letting the legs go back onto the floor if they weren't already there. Once again, a nice long stretch from fingers to toes. That was kind of amazing. That was a beautiful little transition into the practice today. So when that nice long stretch feels like it's kind of had its way with you, go ahead and invite the knees into the chest. So one at a time, maybe if that feels a little bit safer for your low back, just hugging those knees in. And once they're into the chest, gently letting the knees rock side to side without moving the head, you guys, okay? So try to keep the head stable, letting the knees just rock side to side and give that little opportunity for some massage of that low back. As you breathe, Coming back through the midline, let the right knee stay there and just hold it with you both hands as you extend out through the left leg. So it's like a nice little yawn, a nice little stretch here. Right knee hugs in, left leg floats over your mat, left foot a little flexed here. On the inhale, pick up your head, bring your chin to your chest and your forehead toward your knee. On the exhale, head back to the floor. Switch the legs out, left knee in, right leg hovers over the mat. Good squeeze of that left knee. Push out through that right heel. Inhale, forehead towards the knee. Exhale, bring the head down. Right knee comes into the chest. Knees rock one way. Chin can start to move in the opposite direction. Let's do a yawn here. Just a little. Yeah. Keep your mouth open. Wiggle your jaw a little bit. This is going to help release that low back too. Good. Nice. Now let's bring those feet to the floor. Let's cross the right ankle over the left knee. Let's start right with the hips today. Let's float up that left foot and either using your strap or just your fingers, lace behind that left knee or thigh. Take an inhale here. And on the exhale, gently hug that left knee to the chest, keeping the right foot a little flexed. And we haven't warmed up very much at all, so these hips might be pretty tight at this point, and that's okay. Just be with wherever you are. Sometimes just grabbing the left leg is enough. So just finding that little point of tension, approaching this idea of non-judging awareness in your practice today, just being where you are and knowing that that's totally fine. Take another inhale. On the exhale, keeping that left foot a little flexed, extend that left leg up to the sky, straightening through the left leg. Couple breaths here, full, big, beautiful breaths in the belly. And then sliding the arms apart, taking the arms out like a T as we inhale. As we exhale, let's float that right foot down to the left side of the mat. So taking that right foot all the way to the floor. Maintain some control as you land that right foot. And then return to that right shoulder. Turn your gaze toward the right hand and sink the right shoulder into the mat as you breathe. Full spacious breath in the belly. Good. Inhale back to center. Floating the left foot down to the floor, uncrossing the ankle, and then separating the feet wider than the hips to then windshield wiper the knees side to side. Again, the mouth drops open, the jaw wiggles, and the head goes in the opposite direction of the knees. Coming through the midline, left ankle crosses over the right knee. Floating the right foot up, lace behind the knee or thigh. Inhale here. And on the exhale, gently pull that right knee in for a hug. Come here, you. I haven't seen you in a while. Keeping that left foot a little flexed. Breathe and explore. You always have my permission to customize your practice. So here, I like to use my left elbow to encourage that left knee away a little bit, a little deeper opening in that hip. Breathe with the belly. Flexing the right foot now. Inhale where we are. Exhale, pushing that right heel up to the sky. Hugging that right leg to the chest. Shoulder blades back and down. Breathe. Good. Slipping the arms out to the sides. Taking a nice deep breath here. And then slowly, keeping control as you exhale, floating that left foot down to the floor. Once that left foot lands, return to your left shoulder with your gaze and with the weight of that left shoulder down into the mat as you again breathe. Staying a little flexed in that right foot. Breathe with the belly. Keeping the arms out like a T. We're going to inhale. And as the exhale comes in, we're going to bring those legs back to the midline. Bringing the right foot back to the floor, uncrossing the ankles, separating the feet even wider this time. And the knees rock side to side. The head goes in the opposite direction. Untie the knots from your day. Keep the legs windshield wipering and just slide your arms up by your ears now. So instead of arms out like a T, arms by the ears, and lift the ribs out of the hips as the knees rock side to side. And feel how much space you just gave into the visceral body. So all those organs get unpacked. You ever use those bags that you suck all the air out so you could pack a lot of things in a small suitcase or something? Okay, just think about what we're doing now is we're uncorking that. We're letting the air go back in. We're letting there be some more room. So circulation around the visceral body, extremely important for blood flow, for health and well-being, in all the internal organs. When you're ready, go ahead and rock your knees over to the side, and let's bring ourselves all the way up and around into a seated position. So we're going to sit on our harness, moving the flesh of the buttocks back and away. Let's wake up the spine a little bit more here. Excuse me. Fingertips down on either side of the hips. Sitting tall as we exhale. On the next in-breath, circle your fingertips as though you're trying to draw the biggest circle around you possible. And on the exhale, bring the hands in front of the heart. And every time these hands come in front of the heart, you're coming home. Right back to that heart space. Inhale again. Draw a big light of protection and energy around you. Nothing negative can get in here. Exhaling down the midline. Keep going. Just do as many as feels right for you. Warming up not only the breath body, but the shoulders, the upper back, the upper spine. And you can get a little more vigorous with this if and when you're ready. Really come home. And each time those arms rise, each time that breath comes in, you're building that momentum, you're building that enthusiasm and that energy. So spring can be a time of year, even in South Florida, where things get a little heavy. We get a little tired, we get a little stuck. So according to Ayurveda, spring is the time of mud, right? Too much water, too much earth. And so we have to keep things a little more vigorous, which is why we're amping up our practice these days. Let's interlace the fingers, spin the palms, and push up through the palms. So staying rooted, but also lifting like the spring flowers grow. Those tulips popping up out of the earth. Spin the palms to face the crown of the head now. Take an inhale. Keep your left hip really heavy, and on the exhale, let's arc over to the right. Inhale through the midline. Right hip heavy. Exhale to the left. Beautiful. Inhale back to center line. Unlace the fingers. Long through the spine. And then on the exhale, move into the twist. Okay, so left hand on the knee, right hand behind your hips. And guys, staying on the fingertips will encourage that spine to stay nice and tall. Breathe with your belly. Tap into that Ujjayi breath, that ocean sounding breath if you can. So that deep aspirant sound of the breath. Lift your chin. Confidence in your practice, confidence in who you are. Let's take another inhale. Let's lengthen up a little more. And on the exhale, bring the chin over your right shoulder. Breathe with your belly. Turn up the corners of your mouth. Soften the space between the eyebrows. Beautiful. Let's take a little counter stretch. Let's keep the left hand where it is, but let's sweep that right arm back up by the ear, holding on to that knee. Let's exhale over to the left. Rolling that left shoulder back maybe a little more, maybe taking your gaze up if you can. A lot of poses we do this. I always offer this as an option, okay, because for some of us with neck injuries, this can be really challenging. So always take care of yourself. Kind of goes with the theme today. Sweeping that right arm up, float it over to the opposite knee, chin to the chest, and just round the back. Rock a little side to side, untie the knots, soften the shoulders as you breathe. Nowhere to go, nothing to do. This is your time to be on the mat and really exploring the physical body, letting this practice teach you how to live when you're off this mat. Coming through the midline, floating the palms off of the knees, letting the backs of the hands find each other, or maybe even being able to wrap the palms. Either way is fine. Fake it till you make it. Inhale, arms rise, chin rises, and arc the back a little bit. So we did all those great back bends the other day. Exhale, and just take the opposite movement. Chin to the chest, round the back. Inhale, arching, rocking a little forward on the pelvis if you can. Great. Exhale, and bring it down. And as you're bringing it down, think about your belly button being swallowed in and up a little more, just to strengthen that core. Inhale. Beautiful. Exhale. So a little play with Garudasana, maybe a couple more, just feeling the backs of the shoulders open up. And Garudasana is very, very associated with, again, that point between the eyebrows, our little secret spot we have. Last one. Come back through neutral. Take the arms out of that little knot that they're in and make some little gentle fists. And let's just roll our fists around. Go one way, a little synovial fluid in the wrists. And then go the opposite direction. Floating fingertips down onto the mat once again. Right arm is going to rise. Big inhale here as we exhale, arcing over to the left. Inhale back to center. Taking that right hand to the knee. The left hand comes behind the hip. Again, inhaling long. Exhaling, twisting to the left. So find your way there. Just get yourself into the pose and then go more subtle. Go into that breath body. Yeah, I heard it. The Ujjayi breath moving in the belly. If you want to come with me a little deeper into this journey, let's take the inhale longer through the spine. Let's take the chin over the left shoulder. Chin stays lifting, that openness in the throat, Vishuddha chakra. Our ability to speak with clarity, with kindness, with truth. Keep the right hand where it is. Take the left arm, sweep it up by the ear, and on the exhale, let's arc over to the right. So that way, a nice little counter stretch to explore some of what's happening in that left side body. Rolling that left shoulder back just a little more if you can. Maybe looking up. Take care of yourself. Maybe extending through those left fingertips even more. Beautiful. You're breathing, right? Let's sweep it through the midline. Let's take that left hand back over to the knee, chin to the chest. And once again, just kind of untying those knots. Releasing the day. Releasing the troubles as we breathe. I like to remind you that you have the ability to separate from the things that might be troubling your mind or worrying you. This point of focus between the eyebrows always being there. Coming through the midline, we float the hands up, backs of the hands, palms of the hands, fake it till you make it. Inhale, chin rises, elbows rise. Exhale, coming into ourselves. Even though this is ego pose, keep going. This kind of reminds me, and I think I might have talked about this before, of a jellyfish. You know how jellyfish expand and then they contract to move through the water. You know, they kind of go into themselves. That's what this pose feels like a little bit. And feel that just stretching and that opening in the upper back. The back of the heart, maybe being able to breathe a little more here. Let's come back through neutral. Let's unlace the arms one more time. Make a little fist with the hands, and let's just roll around that synovial fluid once again. Other direction. Floating the fingers back down onto the earth, extending the legs out for a nice little stretch. Give those legs a little bounce as you once again move the flesh of the hiney back and away. Sitting in Dandasana for a moment, flexing both of the feet, extending down through the legs, and taking the hands down somewhere in the neighborhood of your hips. I have very short arms along with my leg, so my hands are right next to my hips. If you tend to have a little longer arms, A, you're lucky, and B, you got to step your feet back behind, or your hands behind you a little bit more. Okay, so the fingers face the toes, and the palm should be flat as the arms straighten. The chest lifts. We press out through the ball mounts of both feet. One of those like poses that looks like you're not doing anything, but if you're really working the pose, there's a lot going on here. The legs are active, the arms are active, the chest is lifting, the shoulders are hugged back and down. The chin is parallel with your legs. Soft gaze as you breathe. Dandasana, staff pose. Let's release the arms and take the arms up by the ears. Big breath in. Lift the belly. And on the exhale, fold towards your legs. Bringing the hands down wherever they land. And that might not be far, and that's okay. Just where the hands land. Retuck the shoulder blades back and down. Keep that little lift in the chest and pushing out through the ball mounts of the big toes as you breathe. So you're not dropping your head quite yet. I'll let you do that in a second. Let's just play with this right now. The heart coming towards the feet. The legs nice and straight. Good. As you breathe, maybe the hands can start walking towards the feet a little more. But the intention is really in the fold, keeping the back straight right now. Can you invite the backs of the knees down into your mat just a little more? Now go ahead and undo this a little bit. Drop your chin to your chest, round your back, bring your forehead towards your knees or your thighs. Like just let it kind of unhinge itself. So you're still fuller in the forward fold, but it's a lot messier. It's more Sunday morning yoga. You're rocking a little side to side. Breathe. You're stretching. Okay, let's go back. Now take and lift the chin. Straighten the legs a little more. Push out through the ball mounts. Shoulder blades down the back. Where we just were, a little more dandas. One more time, inhale. Exhale and release it. Letting the head hang heavy, rocking a little side to side, untying all those knots in your shoulders. And then sweetly walking the hands up the legs. Let's take Janu Shears. So let's take the left foot to the inside of the right leg. Square your body kind of aligned with that right leg. And that right foot is slightly flexed. We're going to inhale the arms overhead again. Exhale and fold over that right leg. Letting the hands land on the knee, the shin, the ankle, the foot. Wherever it lands is okay with me. If you can, taking crisscross now the hands. So take the left hand to the outside, the right hand to the inside. And as you inhale, come up just a little bit. As you exhale, fold over, bringing the forehead towards the knee or the thigh. Breathe into where you're feeling it happening the most. So if you got a little something happening in that lower left side of your back, breathe there. If you're really feeling the stretch of those hamstrings or the backs of the knees, that's where the breath needs to go. We have this thing in yoga that says, where the breath goes, the energy flows. Where the mind goes, the energy flows. Uncrossing the hands, bringing them onto the leg and walk up nice and slow. Taking that, let's play with this. Let's bring that left foot onto the floor now. Let's take it right into this twist. Let's curl that right leg around. Once again, left hand behind the hip, right hand on the knee as we inhale. If this is too spicy, this leg can stay straight, okay? Otherwise, we inhale forward. On the exhale, we twist towards that bent knee. And again, if the first phase of the pose is just getting there, is organizing yourself. And then after a breath or two, it's about refining it. So can you maybe take that left shoulder back a little more? Can you sit a little taller? Can you deepen the breath? If all that's working and you want more, check in with your body. Maybe bringing the right elbow onto the knee, or maybe even the outside of the knee. Again, keeping that chin lifted. Breathe. Oh, that's kind of nice. Not gonna lie. Wiggle the fingers on the right hand. Take that arm up over and float it to the other side of your mat. Walk your left hand over and just pause here. Letting your hands start to walk out, head heavy. Find just a place where you're feeling that more profound twist, maybe the lower back down by the sacrum. Maybe your elbows can come to the floor. And we breathe into the belly. I really like a little time to extend that left arm out when I'm in this pose, when I'm in this counter pose. I just get a nice stretch in the side body here, so just explore that. Be where you are. And then when you're ready, walking the hands back in, nice and carefully, head heavy, shoulders heavy. Come through the midline and then unpretzel these legs. Give a little bit of a shake out. Janu Shirshas on the other side. Right foot comes to the inside of the near thigh. Square with that left leg a little more. Inhale. On the exhale, slide the hands down the leg and just kind of go to where your body stops. Pause here before crossing at the arms or the wrists. Taking another inhale. And then using your grip on the leg to bring the chest a little closer to that left knee or thigh. The left foot is slightly flexed. And again, where are you feeling it? Where is there a space where maybe there needs to be more energy? Sometimes we think, oh, I got to stretch or I got to get stronger. Maybe we just need to breathe more. Maybe it's a simpler solution. So really use the breath as a tool for healing in your practice. Uncrossing the hands, let's gently walk those hands up the leg. Flattening the right foot on the floor, taking the left leg, curling it around or keeping it straight. Option totally up to you, love bugs. Left hand on the right knee, right hand behind the hip. Inhale as we come up tall, we rise from the spine. And on the exhale, we twist towards that bent knee or thigh. And we breathe with the belly. And we find our way, we keep walking deeper and deeper into the pose. So letting the spine be tall. Letting the breath be deep. Deciding whether we want more. If we do, we're going to bring the elbow either on or to the outside of that right knee as we breathe. Yeah. Let the aliveness of twists. Twists are such powerful parts of our practice, you guys. Twists are just like turning up the dimmer switch in the body, clearing out what needs to go, making room for something new. They're good to do in the springtime. It's like spring cleaning from the inside. Wiggling those left fingers, let's take them up and over, land them on the other side of your mat, and then float your right hand over to join it when you're ready. Pausing just to be here in the counter stretch. And then finding your version of this, walking the hands out, maybe coming onto elbows, one elbow, no elbows. Be where you are. Exploring, breathing, not being afraid to customize your practice. Walking maybe that right arm out. I kind of love that. And then if you like, you can start to walk those hands back in, keeping the head and shoulders heavy like we do at the end of our practice as we come through the midline. Unpretzeling the pretzel of our legs, giving a little bit of a shake. And then let's go ahead and open those legs nice and wide. Keep a little flex in the feet. Once again, inhaling with a tall spine. And then on the exhale, just folding forward, getting a nice stretch through that inner thigh. As we breathe, keep the spine tall, keep the chin lifted. Yes. Good. Walk the hands out a little more, maybe if you can. Let's take an inhale again. And on the exhale, let's just walk the hands over to the right. So maybe you get the hands to the right leg, maybe not even close, doesn't matter. It's more important here, lovies, to keep that left hip heavy. So anchor that left hip down into your mat. Breathe. Yeah. Walking the hands back through the midline, pausing there to walk the fingertips out away from you just a little bit more before going over to the left leg now. Finding your way, hands on the legs or on the floor still, anchoring down into that right hip, heavy. Breathe. Good. Okay, walking those fingers back in. One more time, walk them out as far away as you can. I bet you're a lot closer to the floor already. Feel that progress that you made just in just a few moments of stretch. It happens fast when your body knows yoga. Okay, walk those fingers back in towards you. And then I always like to help my legs out. Just kind of place those legs back into the midline, giving a little shakety shake. And then recrossing the ankles one more time. Hands on the knees. And let's just pause here for a second just to circle the hips with the shoulders, going in one direction. Breathe, relax, and maybe check in and notice how amazing your low back is already feeling. And then when you're ready, spinning it in the opposite direction. So think about orbiting those hips with your shoulders. Coming through the midline, nice and slow, bringing the circles a little closer and closer. Before dropping right in, keeping the hands on the knees as we inhale, rock forward, lift the chin, tilt the pelvis. On the exhale, hold down to the knees, chin to the chest, and rock back. Keep going, inhaling forward, exhaling, rocking back. So really exploring this movement of the spine. And again, just like that synovial fluid in the wrist, that's some of what your spine's getting here. As you're rocking forward, bringing the chin up and back, letting the throat open. As we rock back, feeling the spine, feeling it from the inside. Keep going, a couple more. There's no magic number, but deepening the breath, staying very, very present, very, very skillful in your practice. Returning back to neutral, walking the hands around, coming into a table position, palms under the shoulders, knees under the hips, same movement, but now from table as we exhale, round the back, chin to the chest, tailbone pointing down. On the inhale, dropping the tummy, lifting the chin. Keep going. And like water spilling up and down through the tunnel of your spine, the breath moves. Releasing tension, harmonizing the body with healing light and energy. Coming back through neutral, sending the weight into that left knee so the right knee can pick up out to the side and circling one direction. Breathe. Keep the weight even in the hands. Good. Big circles, small circles, slow circles, fast circles, whatever you do is enough. You're enough exactly how you showed up here today. Pause wherever you are, other direction. You have permission to be yourself. We all do until we're fired, right? Lifting that right knee up as high as we can, keeping that foot flexed. And before we lift those fingertips up or the palm of the hand up, we really want to invite that navel, that belly in and up to support this. Finding a drishti, finding a point of focus, and then coming onto those fingertips. Steadiness when you're ready, floating that left hand up off the mat. Breathe. And then very skillfully extend the arm and the leg at the same time, reaching out through those fingertips, pushing back through that heel. Breathe. Left hand down, square the hips. Inhale, bring the right knee straight down the midline, right to your forehead. Exhale back. Inhale. No, wait, I'm doing that wrong. Exhale, forehead, knee to forehead. Inhale it back, sorry. Something felt wrong. Exhale. Last one, inhale. Exhale, take that right knee straight down the midline and hold it here. Push the earth away a little bit more. Lift the knee up a little higher. Really use that strength in the abs. Good. Perfect. Take a beautiful breath in. Right leg extends back. It crosses over the left leg. Land the toes. Inhale and look back over that for that right foot. Breathe. Push back through that right heel. Big breath in. The right foot floats back. Land the knee. Land the hips. Walk the arms out. Shake the hips side to side. Breathe. Be here. Be here. It's the most alive we get to be all week, it feels like sometimes, right? So the whole body now is breathing this practice. Notice the skillfulness. Notice the response from your nervous system. Everything is kind of lined up with each other. Breath, body, mind. Floating the shoulders back over the palms. Exhaling and rounding into the back. We've done this 8 million times, but let it be new. Inhale, drop your belly, lift your chin. Exhale and round. Keep going. And again, be just as curious about this as though it were the first time you've ever been moving through these poses. Stay with it. It all matters. Coming back through neutral, the weight goes into the right knee. The left knee comes out to the side and she circles. Be skillful with it. Pause. Other way. Other way is going to be harder. It always is. It feels a lot heavier. Left knee lifts up as high as we can get her, flexing that foot. And again, use the belly, trusting that core strength, trusting Manipura chakra, trusting yourself to be strong here as we find the drishti and come onto the right fingertips. Anchoring into that as we lift that right palm up off the floor. Fingers spread, palm facing down. Depend deeply on the breath here to sustain. Very skillfully, the leg extends, the arm reaches. It feels so good, right? So pushing out through that left heel, reaching through those right fingertips. Landing the hand, taking that inhale where we are. On the exhale, the left knee comes straight down the midline toward the forehead. Inhale it back. Exhale it in the midline. Keep going. If you want to double time, double time. If you want to slow it down, slow it down. There's no magic number. What is key is the breath. The next time the left knee comes straight down the midline, keep it here. Push into the hands. Lift the knee a little higher if you can. Build some tension here. Keep breathing. Keep breathing. Good. And then really skillfully take that leg back as you inhale. Cross it over, land the toes, look over the right shoulder. And explore this twist on the side. Push back through that heel. You know how your right side of your torso is all kind of scrunched up? Breathe into that as big as you can. Like open it up just with your breath. Kind of cool. Where the mind and the breath go, the energy flows. Inhaling the left foot back behind you again. Landing the knee. Exhaling, pushing the earth away. Inhaling, dropping the tummy, rolling the toes, and lifting your hips to the sky. Adho Mukha Svanasana. So playing in the downward dog, pedaling the feet, letting yourself be upside down and having a new perspective on things. What if that thing that's a problem in your life is actually the best thing that ever happened to you? Sometimes it takes getting upside down to figure that out. Now taking a look up between those hands, that's where I would love for your feetsies to go. So I like options, you know, hopping your feet to your hands, walking your feet to your hands, walking your hands to your feet, whatevs. Okay, so play with whatever journey you want to take. As long as we all end up together, that's what matters. Once the feet are directly under the hips, pausing here, taking maybe the elbows in the opposite hands, and just like literally hanging out for a few. Just take a few cleansing breaths through the upper shoulders and the upper back. And letting the mind empty itself out. Taking every opportunity in your practice to rock like a baby. We rock babies because it soothes our nervous system. So we do a lot of rocking in yoga, right? Releasing those elbows. Slip those fingertips up the front of the legs as we come up to halfway up. Flat back, straight arms, straight legs, looking forward. Exhale, fold. Do that again. Inhale, you're doing beautiful. See good things coming. Exhale and fold. Last one, inhale, and feel like a momentum now. Feel an energy as the hips take you all the way up and rise. The thumbs hook. Exhale over to the right. Inhale through the center line. Exhale to the left. Inhale back to the center line. Muscles of the legs hug the bones. Inhale. Exhale back. Breathe. Breathe. One more in. And on the out breath, very skillfully, hands float in front of the heart. How do you want to feel after this practice is over? So tap into that energy. Here it is. Here we go. Hands in the low back, elbows wide, knees bent a little bit as we exhale. As we inhale, straighten into the legs, hug the elbows towards each other, chin to the chest. Exhale and release, elbows wide again. Inhale, straight legs, a little more gusto this time. Exhale, release. Last one, inhale, hug the elbows together, hands in the low back, strong legs. Now you can either stay here, or if you want to play a little more, you can take the hands off the low back, interlace the fingers, and really squeeze those shoulder blades together, taking the knuckles down towards your ankles. Big opening of the chest available here. Yes, good. One more big inhale. On the exhale, release the hands, arms by your side body. Does everyone have a block? Do you guys have a block? Can somebody toss me theirs? Can I have one? Can I borrow one? Oh, thank you, Lovey. Okay, we're gonna take our block. We're gonna do mountain pose with a block here today. So we sometimes do this for Setu Bandha. We're gonna just bring the block right between the thighs. So you see thigh, long part of the block, other thigh. And that's gonna be a good little measurement for the feet, okay? So with the feet, toes pointed all in the same direction. Lift your toes up. Spread those guys out, and then place them back down on your mat. Rock a little forward, rock a little back, rock a little to the left, rock a little to the right, and then come back to center. Find like that perfect spot where you're fully centered over the four corners of the feet. Rise tall through the spine, shoulders up, back and down, palms facing forward. Breathe in one. Breathe out one. I love when we breathe together. Breathe in two. We're all breathing this breath. Breathe out two. Breathe in three. Hold this one. Meet up in our spot right between the eyebrows. We're all there. No thoughts to think. No conversations to have. Being the mountain. Big one, small one. Beautiful blue sky, a little snow-capped maybe. Exhale. And then just float your arms up as slowly as you can, you guys. Nice and slow. Just, if I was looking at you, I might not even really see your arms moving much at all. Like that's how slowly the arms are coming up. And you're not bringing your arms right next to your ears. It's more like out to the sides. And once the arms are risen, the palms face each other. Take a moment to really feel the sturdiness and the steadiness in the legs. Now guide the palms of your hands down to your chest and belly. Take a beautiful inhale here. Exhale it out. Drop your jaw, wiggle your jaw. Remove your block. Just put your block down at the front of your mat. And just pause here for a moment just to check in with energy. How do you want to feel after this practice? Grounded? Here you go. Here you go. Very skillfully, take that right foot back. Right foot at about 2 o'clock. Square your hips with your front standing leg with your left leg. Inhale, bend into the left knee. Plug the shoulders in. And then float the arms out up by your ears. Now make fists with your hands and go, ha! Arms out in front of you. Inhale. Ha! Overhead. Inhale. Ha! Out. Ha! Up. Ha! Out. Ha! Up. Ha! Out. Ha! Up. Ha! Out. Ha! Up. Ha! Out. Ha! Last one. Ha! Arms back by the ears. Left arm in front, right arm behind. Take all that heat and all that power with you as you spin that left palm. Take it up to the sky. Let it go. Elbow to the knee. Right arm to the sky. Beautiful inhale. The right arm meets the right ear. And we get as far away from the outside of the right foot with the right fingertips as we can, where you feel the skin stretching the right side of the belly. Breathe. Breathe into that armpit. Breathe into that side body. The right side of the lungs, the right side of the kidneys, the right side of the intestines. Now spin the right palm and sweep that up and over. Taking the right hand on the hip, reach out with the left fingertips. Grab your block, place your block to the inside or outside of the left foot as the right shoulder rolls back and the arm comes up to the sky, and we breathe and we celebrate the miracle of this day. We talked about this last class. We can walk through life like nothing's a miracle, like nothing matters, like who cares, whatever. Or we can walk through life, everything is a miracle. This breath right now, this pose, your eyes are blinking, your lungs are breathing, your heart is pumping. That's a miracle. Wiggle those fingers. Rise up and over, hands in front of the heart, stepping the right foot up to join the left. Arms rise, inhale. Exhale, heart leads the way, forward fold. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, fold. Right foot steps back. Left foot stays landed, high lunge. Inhale, arms rise. Exhale, twist towards that bent knee. Inhale, rise. Exhale, fold. Left foot goes back to join the right, Palakasana. Inhale. Exhale, shoulders and elbows. All the way to the mat. Point toes. Inhale, Bhujangasana. Exhale, fold. I wasn't really feeling that song. Hold on 1 second. Hang out in your Bhujangasana for me for a second. Big breaths here. One more inhale where we are. On the exhale, forehead to the floor. Push back through the hands. Roll the toes. Hips to the sky. Downward dog. Pedaling those feet. Now either coming down to the knees and stepping the right foot, or taking that right foot, planting it between the hands. Anchoring through that right foot. Back feet can stay down if you want. Inhale, arms rise. Exhale, twist towards the bent knee. Inhale to center. Exhale to fold. Left foot steps up to join the right. Inhale, we go halfway. Exhale and fold. Inhale again, halfway. Use that energy, that momentum. Rise through the midline. Hands down the midline. Left foot steps back. Square with that front leg. Inhale, bend into the knee, plug in, float the arms. So sometimes there's things in our lives that just need a little bit of energy. They just need that little bit. Something needs to change here. Let's change it. Ready? Make fists. Big breath in. Ha! Out. Ha! Up. Ha! Out. Ha! Up. Ha! Out. Ha! Up. Ha! Out. Ha! Up. Ha! Out. Ha! Last one. Ha! Arms back up. Let it kind of move through. Feel the waves of the energy. Right arm in front, left arm behind you. Spin the palm. Take it with you. Take the abundance of this practice, everything it's got for you. And it's a lot. And it's got more to give. Just keep showing up. Hands open, heart open. Sweep that arm around. Elbow to knee. Left arm to the sky. Beautiful. Inhale. Arm by the ear. Stretch as much as you can through that left side body. Spinning that palm, sweeping up and over. Left hand to the hip. Reach out from the toes. Grabbing your block, placing your block. Rolling that left shoulder or left arm to the sky. Let's celebrate it. Yeah, man. It's Thursday. We made it. Do me a favor and tuck in that right thigh a little more. So bring that muscle of that right thigh into that hip crease. And tell me that doesn't let your left shoulder come back even more, because it will. Yeah, I just saw you. Wiggle those fingers. Rise up and over. This time, we're going to parallel the feet for just a mo. Taking the hands behind us once again. Lacing the fingers. Squeezing the shoulder blades back. Big inhale here. Yoga mudra as we hinge at the hips. And fold the chest forward. Oh. So the head drops, and this is a great opportunity to squeeze those shoulder blades and that tension that likes to live there, to give it some good squeezes and some good movement and some good breaths. And then on the inhale, we're going to come up about halfway. Keep the fingers laced if you can. Pausing halfway, letting your blood pressure stabilize, and then rising all the way up. Nice and skillful. Before tucking in those heels, unlacing the fingers, pointer finger and thumbs connecting, and then exhaling into the seat of the goddess. Because, yeah, we earned it. So the shoulder blades hug back and down. The knees hug towards the hip creases. The chest is open. The chin is up. Yeah. I'm right where I'm supposed to be. I know it. I trust it. I'm giving it everything I got. On the next inhale, rise tall. Hands in front of the heart as that right foot points to the top of your mat. The left foot steps up to join it. Arms rise, inhale. Exhale, heart leads the way. Inhale it up. Exhale and fold it. Left foot steps back. Knee down or lifted. Arms rise, inhale. Exhale, twist to the knee. Inhale, center. Exhale, fold. Right foot back. Palakas. Shoulders forward. Inhale. Knees can be down, loves. Exhale. Take it to the floor. Point the toes. Elbows squeeze. Bhujangas. Exhale, fold. push through the palms, roll the toes. Exhale, hips to the sky. Pedal it out, but then get pretty serious about this one. Inhale, really bent knees, really high hips. And then exhale as you sink those heels down. Now you got an option here. You can come down to knees and left foot steps, or just left foot steps. I'm happy either way. Anchor through that left foot. Arms rise and in. That back knee can be down. Exhale, twist to the bent knee. Inhale to center. Fingers land. Right foot steps. Halfway we go. Exhale, fold. Bend the knees even more and take your tushy to your mat. Make sure your block's handy. I'm going to let you have that block again for Setu today. Okay? So let's go ahead and move the flesh of that hiney back. Feet hip distance. Take your navas. Feet up or down. Legs straight or bent. Shoulder blades down the back. Remember that little field where we're all meeting up. You bring a blanket, I'll bring some picnic basket. The sun is shining. The wind is soft and cool. Take another inhale. And then on the exhale, slowly release your beautiful, miraculous self back onto your mat. And stretch and lengthen and yawn and move in a way that serves your body. Invite the knees back into the chest one at a time. Rocking the knees one way, the chin the other. Untie the knots. Sometimes knots get tied up when we practice. Untie them. Drop the knees open wide. Slide the hands behind the thighs as you pick the heels up and take a happy baby here. Whatever version of happy baby feels right for you today. So maybe you're just going to stay a little more static. You're going to hold those knees down and push up through those feet, and you're not going to move a lot today. Or maybe you've got a really wiggly baby today. Maybe this baby just can't be still. Just check in and give her whatever she wants. And then when you're ready, release those feet all the way down to the floor. Grabbing your block. Placing the feet a hand's distance from your hiney before lifting those hips very carefully. The hips rising like a bridge, nice and slow. And then finding that perfect spot. The knees can stay bent, the feet can stay on the floor. I'm just going to give you options to play with, okay? So you can be here, arms just by your side body. If this serves you and you are happy, I am happy, okay? But if you would like more to explore with this pose, you could take and extend the legs out for a little more of a stretch through the hip flexors. You can remain here, or you can bring your hands on either side of your block and take your legs up to the sky one at a time. If you want to play with a little Sarvangasana. This is kind of nice to bring the legs up and just roll the ankles around, that little synovial fluid massage we did for the wrist today. Maybe exploring that for the ankles. If you really want even more, you can rock up, bringing the hands into the low back and going all the way into the Sarvangasana, hands supporting the low back.
legs up to the sky. Checking in. Maybe the toes are coming down onto the floor over your head. Optional. Okay. In any version of this, you're still inviting blood flow into the heart space. And we don't want a tsunami of blood flow. We just want a nice, generous amount of blood, just enough to slow the heart down. And the breath moves. Just really effortlessly. And then as you're ready, starting to either bring the feet down, maybe pushing into the feet and moving your block, coming out of the pose, and just spending a couple moments before we transition to Shavasana to explore any movement that your body still needs. So if there's any rocking or stretching or moving that feels like it's not taken care of yet, do that. And then extend the legs out. Put on your eye pillow, your blanket, whatever it is you need, so that you can spend these next few minutes receiving the gifts of your practice. It's not about doing. It's not about making anything happen anymore. It's just receiving, just showing up. And as we did at the beginning of our practice, checking in with the physical body, doing a little scan from the soles of your feet all the way up through the crown of your head. And if there's any last traces of stress or tension in the body, just softening. Nowhere to go, nothing to do. Letting the right side of the body just get a little heavier. So your right shoulder, your right hip, your right leg, your right arm, the right side of your rib cage, all sinking down just a little more. Now letting the left side of your body do the same thing. Just feel it getting a little heavier. Surrendering to gravity. Just a little more. Let the eyes fall deeply into their sockets. Let all expression disappear from your face. Let all the lines of the forehead smooth. Relax the lips. Relax the top row of your teeth. The bottom row of your teeth. Relax your tongue. Let your tongue fill the entire lower jaw. Relax the root of your tongue. And feel how that spreads down into your throat. Relaxing all the layers of your throat, deep and still, like a pond. Relax the tops of the shoulders a little more. Your low back a little more. Your belly a little more. Relax your hips a little more. And a little more still. And a little more still. And the thighs are heavy. And the shin bones are heavy. And the calf muscles are heavy. And the heels and the arches and the big toe, second toe, third toe, fourth toe, baby toe, all relax. Relax the soles of your feet. Relax the crown of your head. And let the breath breathe you. The breath breathes you.